Well, I have 6:40, and I call this meeting of the General Government and Public Safety Committee to order. I know attendance has already been taken. Any comments from citizens? Hearing none, moving on to Police Department. Activity reports in your packet. Chief, is there anything you want to point out?
We got the radar trailer up and running again. I'm sure some complaints have come out about that. But I haven't gotten any yet, some passing comments, but, I got a purchase order in for 2 vehicles from the Missouri State Highway Patrol. Ones that they've gone through, I thought it was a better use of money to get 2 vehicles versus 1 brand new one. I know these cars are kept up with maintenance records. I've got the records on them. They'll come with lights and sirens on them, and we'll have a little bit more outfitting to do, but I'm getting 2 of those. I spent about 55 grand on them for 2 Tahoes, so, I mean, it's more space in there for the cops and all the stuff that we're gonna be carrying or whatever, but, yeah, so, that's probably gonna be within the next month, probably around June.
Any questions for the chief? Moving on to Fire Department. Activity reports in your packet. Denny, is there anything you want to point out?
Just a couple things about the, still working on getting the truck where it'll pass pump test. We've got it pumping and everything, but it has to hit like 2010 RPMs to do a certified pump test. I mean, a truck can pump water, anything we need, and it's only reaching like 1,890 or something like that, so. The pump and the truck, they got to read each other, it's electronic, and nobody knows how to fix it, it seems like, you know. You get a banner that has the truck, and you get an E1 pump and stuff, and then they just, somebody, sooner or later, we hope it's gonna figure it out. And then I told Terry the other day that, if y'all remember back in September 21, we bought new SCBAs and masks and stuff. Well, we ordered 6 special masks at that time, and they've never come in. So I called them the other day, and they're not gonna come in. I mean, Scott has no clue when they're ever coming in or this and that, so we're gonna just get the money to come back instead of them setting on, I think like $13,000 or something. We'll just have, it's a wait and see thing. They're struggling to make them, I mean, what I gathered, so. Other than that, just a regular medical
What
call.
were those masks special for?
We got new masks when we got the stuff. We got their breaks up with it. We had 6 special ones that are called sight masks, which, you know how we have our thermal imaging camera? Well, then the 6 masks have it built into it. So the fireman could go inside and look without having to hold this and hold the hose, and they were pretty reasonable. You know, I think what's gonna happen probably is later on down the road, they'll be available, and then there'll be a lot more, so that's what it. But I mean, I think we had 6 set aside for that, but they can't give you a definitive answer when it's gonna be made, so other than that, we just get our money back and wait and see. I'll probably have to buy a couple more extra masks, now we've got some new firemen, but they're nothing, that's a couple $100 or so, that's all I got.
Any other questions for the Fire Department? Anything for emergency management?
Chris Kelly has been officially appointed as the Emergency Management Director for the county. Chad Martin has stepped in and took over that role a couple years ago when the original emergency manager passed away suddenly. So Chris Kelly, the gentleman who was here last month, is the new Emergency Management Director. So.
Okay. Anything for protective inspection? No? Okay. Moving on, economic development. Chamber of Commerce has a monthly report in your packet.
Yeah, no, we just wanted to introduce Sam. Most of you guys probably know Sam. We've hired him as our new director, effective last Monday.
Yeah.
So he will start coming to the meetings if you have any questions or concerns. Sam is your guy. Any questions on the report I submitted? I'm happy to take those, but we don't have anything else.
Congratulations, Sam.
Yeah.
Thank you.
The community, we've heard a lot of community feedback. They're really excited. Yeah.
I have, well, you all heard good feedback, so.
Yeah.
We have a meeting tomorrow at 5:30.
Member meeting tomorrow. Yep.
Yep.
Anything on events and stuff, if you wanna get ahead of that and meet with us up here or email or whatever, we'll get ahead of it if you need resources or whatever we can do to help you, so.
Okay, yeah, absolutely.
And I need to talk with you anyway, because Jenny's email's still active,
Okay,
and so we
Okay.
can get that switched over. Park Board, agenda for the meetings in your packet, as well as the meeting minutes. Do you need questions or comments?
Just probably, we ought to be aware that there's been some changes in hours, there's been some changes in fees, just so that we're clued in on that, because people are gonna come to us and ask us about it, our wards or me as a mayor, so just be apprised and ready for that discussion. You know that they're now charging for a shelter house and those kind of things, so just might take a look at that, just so we know and we're ready for what I'm saying.
I mean, most of these actions were to shore up any budget
Budget.
tightness.
The budget stuff, yeah. I mean, and taxpayers pay, into that fund, we all do, but at some point it gets to a point that we as taxpayers, if we don't wanna cut things completely out, we have to still give a little bit to make sure we keep it and we still have it. I mean, so in looking at the budget and what's went on, I haven't seen anything personally when you all were working through it, or worked through it when we first talked about Mike, that it didn't seem like it was pretty straightforward. What was there is needed. The pool is always gonna have to be subsidized. It's one of those things that you're glad to subsidize because we want a swimming pool for our kids. It's also all known that people talk about that the pool's not open. When we used to go, it could go 1 till 7 or 9, whatever late it was open, right? Now there's different things. It's broke up, some for adults and swim and some things like that. So the pool's actually is open for the day, but it's open for different demographics of people potentially, older people, adults swim, kids swim, that kind of stuff. So just so you know, just a little bit what's going on. That's some of the things I've heard and had to go ask the question, well, we shut the pool down. And no, we haven't shut the pool down, we're using the pool in a different way that it's been used to try to address all people that need to have time to use it, so.
All right, library board, the agenda's in your packet. Do you need questions or comments? Nothing for cemetery advisory or tree board?
No.
Bills over $1,250 and information's in your packet. Any questions or comments?
Where does the Martin's general contractor payment, pay number 11, pay up to number 6, put us with that $600,000 that we're paying? What more's left on that? Do we know?
For Martin's,
Yeah.
so that's, I don't know exactly how much
Yeah,
is
they're-
left on that.
So they still should have, the new city, well, here's the deal, depending on if the engineers approve, because the equipment is on site, it's just not installed, sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. So the new city pump house is not put together, and the northwest is basically still, how we had it, not touched at all, so, they still have those two things to tidy up.
That would be payable upon,
Right.
got it.
Right. DNR had short paid them earlier in the project. I think it was like 580 or something, and then they short paid them 20,000, wasn't it? Which took it up to 600. So
Yeah.
it's from a past. They didn't have their AIS documentation and stuff, so DNR withheld that payment. They completed that, so that's why they got that extra
Got it, yeah.
payout.
Just want to make sure we're running good there with the things we're doing,
Yeah, no, they're all still within the line. So. Yes, it is.
Moving on, financial statements, anything you want to point out, Sarah?
No,
Same on budget reports? Any other general government? Any as may arise?
Make a motion, we adjourn.
I have a motion,
Second.
I have a second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, we stand adjourned.